Welcome to Pagan Crafting. Today we're stepping into something simple, powerful, and deeply symbolic. The Sacred Bee Honeycomb Grid is inspired by the harmony of the hive. This layout centers you at the heart with 6 surrounding spaces representing key areas of life. This isn't just a design, it's a tool for intention, balance, and quiet transformation. Let's explore how to create it and make it your own, and all the ways to use this magical piece. The PDF downloads that we have for today are 3 pages for you. One with 2 bee honeycomb grids, one with the flower of life, which I was well chuffed that it worked out, the meanings of them all. You'll have the 6 cells, or the areas that are being shaped over time. The center cell is the source, the one that is the building of life, and the whole grid overall equals a balanced life in progress, not a perfection. The other page that I have that goes along with the bee honeycomb grid is the color system. I'll have 3 colors, 3 offering colors for each cell. For example, love, we may have rose pink for gentle love, affection, and softness, maybe crimson red for passion, intensity, and desire, or peach or coral for warmth, friendship, and emotional ease. So we're going to work on the reasons why we're going to have those options for you. Where you can find these PDF downloads are one of 2 places. For Pagan Crafting, Patreon or Etsy. Patreon, you'll be able to, even as a free member, you will get notifications of each of my posts, whether they be locked or unlocked to you, depends on your membership that you choose. Free supporter, Witchling, Grimoire Club, and the Meet Me Coven Witch tier. You could also find the PDF downloads, purchasing them individually on Pagan Crafting Etsy versus Patreon. That'll be part of your monthly membership. You will get all the PDF downloads depending on your tier of choice. Thank you for joining me, and let's get back to our craft. So what I've done for you is that I'm quite well chuffed with myself. I've lined up the flower of life with the 6, 7 cells of the bee honeycomb grid to use. Now I've cut them out. You can keep that for a little reference. You can glue that on the bottom of your wood piece. We have health, love, prosperity, home, growth, and spirit that'll represent everything in this piece here. Anything from creativity to magic to work, it'll be ways you could represent. Now I've printed this out on cardstock paper to have a thicker, because I'm going to be painting over this later. So I don't want the page to be too thin, as I'm going to be using my watercolors to color in the cells with my color options. Just using some white glue, some Mod Podge is totally cool, lining up on the board. And now you can choose any size of board. You can choose to print this out however you wish. You can make this much larger if you'd like, but I'm going to also use this. Well, I won't tell you yet. I'll wait till we're done making our craft here. And I'm going to tell you about all the different ways to use this. So I am going to go with a bit bigger board for a reason I'll let you know in a little bit of time here. So after I've glued all this on, we're going to let this dry a little bit here, wiping off the excess, because I'm going to be painting over this in a bit. Making it super smoothed out, make sure there's no wrinkles. And now it's ready and dried and ready for some watercolor. Now you can start off by saturating the cells first with your watercolor, or you can paint directly on, depending on how thin your layers are or how saturated you wish to have your color. Starting off with health, deep forest green, olive green, or earth brown. I'm going to go with a deep forest green with a touch of olive green. So I would like to be grounded, steady vitality, strength, and I have the olive green for healing, restoration, and we're going to rock that together. So while I'm painting this, let's go into some different ways that we could use this. Now, one of the ways that I'm using a larger board with a smaller cell printout is that I'm going to be using this for charm readings. So you can cast bones or charms over this, depending on where the bones or the charms lay in individual cells. You're going to correspond those readings and have a good time with a really neat reading that way. So our next color here is going for love. So I've chosen crimson red for passion, intensity, and desire because I am in my full force of creativity right now. I have been away for a bit, but I have painting up a storm. So my creativity is extremely high. I am going to add some rose pink as well for gentle love, some affection, and some softness, using some pink Alberta rose in there. Alrighty, so my next one is prosperity for work, craft, and abundance. Now you could use gold, emerald green, or burnt orange. And burnt orange or copper is what I'm going to choose with, and that'll be for creativity, turning into results. Now I'm going to choose to complement that with the gold because I would like to sell my art. I've been painting again and I haven't painted in a few years, so I'm pretty excited. So I would like the gold for success, wealth, and radiant expansion. I would like to expand my reach to my art and share my art with many people. So a daily or weekly check-in is probably the most practical use that you could use on this board. You could stand or sit with your grid and gently scan each hexagon. You can ask what feels strong right now, what feels neglected, what am I overworking, what needs a small action this week. Just pick one hexagon and focus on just one, not all of them. Just keep it realistic and prevents things from getting overwhelming. So for the home, my sanctuary and environment, I chose the soft blue for muted peace, emotional safety, and I highlighted it with a teal for balance, comfort, and gentle flow. Now working in for my growth mind, learning, and expansion, you could choose a bright yellow, a lime green, or amber. So I'm going to go with an amber first. Now the amber is for wisdom, integration, and slow, meaningful growth. I'm going to highlight that with a bright yellow for ideas, clarity, and mental energy. Our next one is spirit for inner world and your magic. A deep indigo, a violet, or a silver gray would be colors that you could use in spirit. I've chosen a deep purple, a deep, deep, deep purple for magic, transformation, and higher connections. This also with the silver gray, kind of a nicer, lighter violet that I'm choosing here is for moon energy and unseen realms. Now this is where it gets powerful. Pick colors based on the area that feels right now, not how it should be. You can blend 2 to 3 colors in one hex. Then the colors shift over time. You can repaint, you can layer, you can scratch it back, you can clear coat it, you can add chalk to it. You can have some fun that way. So I started off with a gold paint here, gold metallic paint that I thought would be super rad, and I didn't use a sponge brush because I could not find one, and I don't always like having to go out and buy things, so I like to recycle, reuse, and use what I have. But it didn't turn out as brilliant as I thought it would. It's just a little too blah for me. I couldn't see the gold. So I'm going to paint now the entire thing gold and hide what I did. And I'm going to let this dry. We're going to come right back. And I'm going to go over again with my stencil with some different colors. Okay, so what I've done here now, after we let it dry, I mix a touch of black in my gold, and I've gotten this beautiful, beautiful, almost, it's just this metal, beautiful metal look to it. Stamping in lighter this time, not going in very thick or else it'll blob between the stencil lines. And I'm really chuffed with this. I'm liking how that's turning out. So I'm able to see a little bit better. I like, now if you do a very like once a day be aligned cell, you can also choose weekly. So you can choose one area, for example, prosperity. You can do 1 to 3 small actions to support it. I'm going to give you some examples here. Health. You can maybe choose health, and you can choose to drink more water or rest more. You can choose love. You can reach out to someone, your home. You can clean and reset a space. Your growth. You can learn something new. Spirit. Meditate. Pull some cards. Prosperity. Apply, plan, and organize. The lesson here is to be a small, consistent effort, and honey will become later. Center activation for self-work. The most powerful part of this center is place your hand over the self hexagon and say something like, I am the center of my life. As I grow, things grow around me. This keeps the focus where it belongs and not chasing everything at once. Another simple yet effective ritual would be a candle ritual. Place a candle in front or the center hexagon and light it. Slowly look at each area of life. Visualize it becoming steady and supported. You don't need long rituals, even 3 to 5 minute works. Now, one way to feed the hive is a beautiful ongoing practice you can do with your grid. Just like bees, you tend to a hive. You can add written words. You can add herbs. You can add sigils. You can add flower petals, little offerings to each little honeycomb grid. This makes the grid feel alive and involving. So add written words, add manifestations, add things that you would like to receive or you like to work on for yourself or friends or family. Put these in each little hex and you can meditate on that. Now, sometimes when life feels off balance, this is where it really shines. If you feel overwhelmed, stuck, or scattered, look at your grid and ask, which part of my life is being ignored? Usually the answer is obvious and you will see it visually. A seasonal reset. At each seasonal shift, you can revisit each hexagon, change words or intentions, add herbs or colors, or reflect on what has grown. In spring, you plant, summer, you grow, autumn, you harvest, and winter, you rest. So these are many different things that you could choose to use your Sacred Bee Honeycomb Grid with. Thank you for spending the time with me and exploring the Sacred Bee Honeycomb Grid. Whether you use it in reflection, spell work, or goal setting, or simply reconnecting with yourself, remember that the center, you, is where the energy begins. The 6 surrounding spaces are always shifting, just like in life. This grid can grow and evolve right alongside you. If you try this out, I'd love to hear how you made it your own. What colors, symbols, or intentions you choose to bring to each space. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with someone who might need a little balance or inspiration in their practice. You can find the PDF downloads on my Patreon as well as my Etsy store. Until next time, keep crafting with intention and may your path be steady, creative, and full of quiet magic.